We are recording.
All right, awesome. Well, first of all, hello everyone on this lovely Friday evening. And so honored as well as humbled to have this invitation by Dr. Claiborne just to get on board here, Maisha, my sister, and to celebrate again this the second opportunity that we've had with her organization to celebrate National Physicians Week. And wow, what of course a week and year and past few months this has been, and it does really epitomize what we're about. Physicians working together is working together, and I second what she said before, that it's not just about physicians, it's about all of us working together to make sure that our communities are safe, that our physicians and healthcare workers have the things that they need to be able to take care of themselves as well as each other. And we were excited a few years ago. This is the 5th anniversary of National Physicians Week, where we took Doctor's Day from March 30th to the whole week, the 25th through the 31st. I always say, hey, if you forgot Doctor's Day on the 30th with National Physicians Week, you got another day to get it done, right? But we want to take it past just this day and this week and even this moment, and just realize that we should have an attitude of gratitude and, you know, express our appreciation to others. That phrase of "giving my flowers while I live," I think is definitely appropriate in this time that we're going through this COVID-19 pandemic. And PWT is about connecting. It's about collaborating. It's about showing that we care for each other. We have a saying that you're not alone, doc, and that means that you're not. So we invite persons that are interested to join PWT. We have a Facebook group, Physicians Working Together. We have a website, www.besttogether.org. We also support our future physicians. So we reach out to our medical students. We have I think some exciting things coming out with the entries for our medical student scholarship to show them some love, and been impressed just with this situation we have now, of how organizations like Maisha's organization, other organizations have come together and are providing support and supplies, and folks on the front line, off the front line, and like she said, our nurses and our techs and our janitors and all the persons involved to make sure we look out for each other. So that's what we're about. We appreciate this opportunity to be a part of this, to say thank you to all the persons that are involved in helping take care of our families and our patients and our communities, and just want you to know you're not alone. We love you, we support you, and we're here for you. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thanks, Kim. I appreciate you. You know, just being in partnership and being in advocacy for physicians and medical students and residents, and then being in collaboration with other healthcare professionals as well, because I know that you are. So thank you for who you are in the community. It's not everybody is. So I'm in Atlanta. Not everybody is down here in the A, but Kim is down this way, and so we have people from all over who are joining us this evening, and like I said, we appreciate you. So what we're gonna do is, when I thought about what could I do as on Zoom, right, that would be meaningful, and I just want to, I guess I want to share a little backstory. This has been emotional for everyone, I'm sure, and particularly for me. For those people who don't know, I'm a family doc by training. Integrative medicine was sort of my area of subspecialty, if you will. And I had a private practice for 10 years before I turned it over to one Dr. Catherine Phillips, who is actually on the call with us. And so I have been coaching and empowering physicians and medical professionals for the last few years in helping them to transition into a career that they love via entrepreneurship. And so I'm no longer like really on the front lines. And what I've been dealing with is how can, as a family doc who is no longer on the front lines, how can I contribute? How can I empower? How can I like really give love to those who still are? And there's a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see with our healthcare workers who are going into the field, who are risking their health and risking even their lives to be with patients. That is, like I said, from the doctors to the rest of the healthcare workers that are out there. There's not enough you all may be reading some. There's not enough protective equipment, and so this is a unprecedented time. So how do I both be a light and give gratitude and actually bring to light some of the things that are happening? And so I ran into this piece by a doc who's on, Dr. Megan Babs, who I am excited to share this piece. And I came across this piece, and it was just beautifully written, called, it's called, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. It's called An Open Letter to America's Physician, Dr. Megan Frost Babb, who's a family doc like me. And when I came across this piece, I thought, this is, we have to read this. So Megan and I we haven't actually met in person, but I reached out to her, and we had a wonderful conversation. And what I found out is that this article that she wrote, this open letter, came from another article. And I actually would like to give Dr. Frost Babb an opportunity to kind of share where she's coming from. And then we are going to read her piece. She and I together are going to read her piece. So Megan, would you like to just kind of share a little bit about what inspired you to write this piece?
I think the biggest thing for me has been this idea of feeling completely isolated and feeling as though our profession as a whole has been completely gaslighted. It's exhausting at the end of the day, this job in and of itself, let alone the extra pressures that are thrust upon us by people who make decisions from a place that is very different than the place from where we make decisions. As I kind of explained to you earlier, that I feel in California, because of the way the legislation is created for physicians, I feel like I'm very privileged in the position that I am, and it breaks my heart, to be honest, to see other physicians across the nation who don't get to have a voice. And so for me, I feel like a conduit where if I have something to say and I have an opportunity to say it on behalf of other people, if it means getting my wrist slapped a few times, at the end of the day, it's worth it. Our suicide rate among physicians is incredibly high. It's too high. The number should be 0, but it's not. And they need to be heard, and they need to feel supported.
Yeah. And so, I just thank you, Megan, just for being a voice, for being willing to be a voice for those who can't speak up. And
yes, thank you, Megan.
Yeah. So
you're welcome.
We're gonna read this piece. You got the piece up, Meg?
I do.
Okay, so we're gonna read this piece, and then after that, I would love to have an open call for anyone who wants to share, to say thank you, to give appreciation to those docs out there who are, in any doc, like those docs out there who are on the front lines, who are on the sidelines, who are on the periphery, on the, like all of the people who are holding the line. We're gonna have an open call for gratitude after that. And, this is one of the reasons I wanted to live stream, because for those who can't be on the Zoom call, this is something that will live for them to be able to see that you are not alone, and we do appreciate you. And so with that, I am going to pull up Dr. Megan's piece here, An Open Letter to America's Physicians. I see you, I hear you. To all the physicians in America, I am one too, and I need you to know, I see you, I hear you. To the Wachusett Emergency Physicians Group in Massachusetts, who just days ago have lost your contract to UMass without cause, I see you, I hear you.
For the past 35 years, Wachusett Emergency Physicians has had the privilege of caring for the greater Leominster, Fitchburg communities. During that time, we provided care to over 1 million patients. Sadly, UMass Memorial Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, has decided, without cause, to terminate our contract to work in the emergency department.
To the medical staff at Kansas City Children's Mercy, who have been barred from wearing masks, I see you, I hear you.
You are not allowed to wear a mask continuously throughout your shift in order to protect yourself.
To the physicians in Seattle who were reminded via memo on March 18th, 2020 by your administrators about self-quarantine practices, I see you, I hear you.
Please remember that self-quarantine is not an option for our providers. Quarantining must be authorized based on symptoms and testing for COVID-19 and should be cleared with your operations and JOC leaders. Unauthorized self-quarantine under these circumstances is unprofessional and a disservice to your community and colleagues. It is also unauthorized time away from practice in violation of your employment agreement and may result in termination of your employment.
To the physicians who are salaried, tirelessly working overtime while simultaneously seeing a large reduction in your paycheck, adding nothing but insult to injury, I see you, I hear you.
Our entire physician staff was told that we would be getting a 30% decrease in our pay, mainly due to the hospital's current inability to generate funds from high-paying services like outpatient surgeries. When I asked if the administrators would be taking a similar pay cut, my question was ignored, and later I received an email from Human Resources with the hospital's policy on salary disclosure. I suppose that was my answer. I wonder if I could also opt in on this plan and without cause also reduce by 30% the monthly payments of my student loans, childcare costs, and home mortgage. Society thinks we are all rich, living extravagant lifestyles, but that is no life I nor my 2002 Honda Civic have ever known.
To the private practice physicians like ophthalmologists, neurologists, endocrinologists, etc., who will likely be forced to close your practice indefinitely because of an inability to see patients amidst this COVID crisis, thus an inability to financially afford to keep your practice open, I see you, I hear you.
In order to keep our society safe, I'm not seeing patients in the office. I have staff and other overhead costs that I will no longer afford. My practice can weather this for a month or maybe 2 more, but beyond that, we won't survive and my practice will be forced out of business. I have heard about bailouts for large hospital systems, but what about for small medical practice owners like myself? Am I entitled to a bailout?
To those working at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York while your leaders are safely secured in their $1 million homes, I see you, I hear you.
Do you know that from the time I wake up, from the time I go to bed, I am totally engaged? Do you know that I get over 400 emails that I reply to? That on a good day, it's every 90 seconds, and that on a bad day, it's almost every minute? That I have teleconferencing with Zoom, like constantly. When they don't have a Zoom, I'm on the phone with them. I mean, please. Quoted by Dr. Kenneth Davis, CEO of Mount Sinai Hospital.
To the physicians in Seattle whose healthcare administrators are demanding that you be reassigned to high-need areas while still being required to cover your own clinic demands, I see you, I hear you.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. I'm being told I must help relieve the efforts of colleagues in high acuity COVID locations, yet simultaneously told that I will be required to maintain constant oversight of my practice and patients. It's as if they literally expect us to be in 2 places at once. Do they realize we are not machines? Last time I checked, I was only human.
To the physicians who are currently working days upon days, often in a row without breaks, without rest, I see you, I hear you.
I'm killing my body for the sake of humanity. I purposely don't drink fluids while on shift, so I won't have to stop and use the restroom. I don't stop to eat because that would require me to go to the cafeteria, where I fear I would further the spread of COVID, secondary to our non-existent PPE supply. On my 11th straight day of working, I decided to store snacks behind my workstation. However, that was short-lived as it was thrown away in the garbage because food is not permitted in this location. But I guess COVID is.
To the physicians who are making life and death decisions about patients, about patient care, I see you. I hear you.
I'm begging for the hospital administration team to put together a policy of procedure to help guide our utilization of ventilation resources for the critically acute COVID patients. After drafting a lengthy email detailing the importance of this, I received an email response consisting of 4 words. It is your call. In my mind, I am screaming, what does that even mean?
To the physicians who are purposefully avoiding your family so not to risk exposing them to the COVID virus, I see you. I hear you.
My commute currently consists of walking 2 blocks twice a day. It's exactly a 1/10 of a mile from the hospital I work to the hotel where I am currently staying. I haven't seen my wife or children in 9 days because I'm a walking COVID vector and I'm afraid to bring it home. My hotel room is a mess because I refuse to ask hotel staff to clean it for fear of exposing them to this very unwanted guest accompanying me everywhere I go. The juxtaposition of being both a walking detriment and a healing body to society. Hashtag get me PPE.
To the physicians who are so desperately trying to be seen and heard by society, I see you. I hear you.
I am nothing more than a walking medical textbook used only for my education and trusted work ethic, seen as nothing more than an insignificant human life. I am reminded daily by hospital administration that I am both dispensable and replaceable. If I walk away from this nightmare, I will be accused of patient abandonment. If I don't walk away, however, I'm risking my health, my life. Does no one care? Where are those loud Kardashians when you need them? Can you get them to speak on our behalf? Don't they have a lot of social media followers? Hello, is this mic on?
To every physician all over America, I will continue to be a voice if you are one who is not allowed to have one. I see you. I hear you. For Nandana. And the article is a follow-up to COVID Pandemic Exposes the Ugly Truths of America's Healthcare System, also written by Dr. Megan Babb. If you want a copy of this, if you want to read this, I do have it posted on my Facebook page, and I'll repost it after this so that people who want to be able to download this and see it can have it and share it. And thank you so much, Megan, for being in collaboration to put this out there, to give a voice to those docs who don't have one, and to be willing to come on and create it with me today.
No, thank you for allowing me to be here. It's an honor when I get an opportunity to be alongside other amazing people who are in this fight too. That had it not been, ironically, for social media, I would have never likely had the opportunity to meet. So just incredibly blessed by all this. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So, now I really just want to open it up. I want to open it up to anyone on this call who wants to say thank you to those docs out there, to anyone on here, because we are docs here too. For those who just want to express gratitude. Remember, we are live streaming, and so it's not only the people on here, but the people out there that you'll be giving that gratitude to. So I think the way it would probably be best managed, because there's a lot of people on, is for you all to press your little hand raise button. And then I can unmute you as such. Or let's see, if you can't find your hand raise button, raise your actual hand. I see somebody raising their hand. Yay! So raise your hand, and then I will unmute you, and I'll just go in order as I see the hands go up. And if make sure you keep your hand raised. If you want to know if your hand is raised, you click the bar that says Manage Participants, so you can see all the participants and you can see the hands that are raised. So I will start with Dr. Francis Yu. I'm unmuting you now.
Yes, I would like to thank and really acknowledge all the residents who are, especially maybe even those that were expecting to graduate and suddenly thrown into this uncertainty, and as well as the, I know at least one school had their fourth-year students graduate early potentially to help out in their hospital system, which I'm sure a lot can be said about that, but extra support and extra big ups to those people who are training, and definitely we're not expecting this, and I think them especially more. And also the my chief residents at least have to change schedules every day because there are new teams being made, new schedules being made, and almost every day we need a new team here, we need a new team here, please man or woman these teams. And I'm really thankful for all people who are making those schedules, and chief residents and program directors making sure the residents are taken care of and everything.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Dr. Kim Jackson, you're up.
All right. Okay. Well, of course, first of all, thank you, Dr. Claiborne, for this opportunity for all of us to come together and share love. And like the doctor before me, definitely a shout out to our medical students and residents being thrown out there. I want to definitely just appreciate not only my colleagues, of course, that are in emergency rooms and urgent cares, but specifically out for the private docs as well. Because I know, being one myself and being out there, a lot of times our heart is so going for those that are in the trenches, and we see them and we see the body bags and we see how hard they are, and just know we want them to know that we have their back. And private care docs like myself, we're having this conversation daily that what we're trying to do is be a barrier. We're trying to make sure everybody's not ending up in the emergency room and not ending up in urgent care, and we're trying to do the best we can. We feel like we're handicapped, not only for PPE and testing, but financing. But I just wanted to take the time to thank those of us that are actually still trying to just make sure we're there to support our communities and support those that are on the front lines even more directly than ourselves. And just know that we do appreciate you and we're here for you. And talking to one of my colleagues today, and they're just like, it's a mental thing too, because if you have physicians that are going to work straight home, trying to do the right thing, that may have been used to traveling or getting out in those social groups, they're having anxiety, and they're having other problems as well, because it's a change for them as well. And like the doctor that was mentioned in the poem by in the article by Dr. Megan Frost Bibb, was so concerned about making their family members sick. And that's the way it is. Like, you come home and you literally script and you shower and you're praying that you don't bring anything. So I just want those docs to know we really, really appreciate you and your sacrifice, and appreciate our brothers and sisters on the front line. And just know you're not alone, and we're praying for you and we're supporting you, and we're just so thankful that you're there. Even when the communities and other folks may be saying things that kind of down play the event, you speak your truth. You take care of yourself, you take care of your family, your communities, and understand we get it, we appreciate it, and we are extremely grateful for you. So thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Jackson. Dr. Ada Frazier Turner, you're up.
Hi, good evening. So I just want to acknowledge all of the physicians that are on this stream, on this feed right now. I'm very proud of the courage that you have mustered up to, just to express and share what's going on within your community. I am retired integrative holistic doctor of dental surgery. And where I am, while I'm not on the front line, I'm on the back line supporting some of my old patients and other clients and people that I help, with some of their healthcare issues. And also, I wanted to acknowledge, I know that this is, primarily about physicians and their contribution. And I also wanted to acknowledge other people that are on the front line that are contributing and supporting in other ways, like, my husband and I do Uber, so we are considered frontline. We're able to go out and we are taking food to people, elderly people who cannot get out. And, to see the gratitude that they have and how, thankful and grateful they are to be able to get that food has been almost overwhelming. And to see, the fear that people are experiencing. Speaking about physicians, though, I was listening to NPR the other night, and I was floored. I was floored around what the physicians all over the United States are going through. It's just mind-boggling. So, Maisha, I want to acknowledge you for bringing this forward. And just so everybody knows, Dr. Maisha is my oldest daughter. So I'm, of course, extremely proud of, the courageousness of being able to just tell it like it is, just expose it. And then the young lady that was speaking with you and created, talking about her article, phenomenal. In my era, we had this same kind of frustration and anxiety, but a lot of people were afraid to speak up for fear of getting, and a lot of practitioners like myself actually did lose their license for speaking up about subjects like this. So to see this generation of doctors coming in and just, keeping it real and exposing the truth about what's really going on within the medical community is just phenomenal. I'm very proud of you all. And did you have something, honey?
Yeah, I want to thank the medical community in general. My late wife was an RN, and I know firsthand, so I've been around medical professionals all of my adult life on a personal level. And so I know, and I've heard the war stories. And so I know it's a tough job out there caring for people and trying to keep other people safe, when in fact, your administrators seem to exhibit little care for your safety. And so, I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate what you continue to do. And I certainly appreciate what the community in general provides at their own risk.
Thank you, Mom and bonus dad. Okay, Dr. K, you're up.
Okay. I really wanted to express gratitude as well to the entire medical field. Specifically, this article really resonated with me because when I first read it, it actually was extremely emotional for me to get through. And I felt that it really touched on every single situation or circumstance that a physician or a doctor, period, could be in. And I really saw myself in like 3 or 4 of the scenarios. So I really appreciated that piece being constructed and shared. And wanted to express appreciation to you, Maisha, for putting this together and for continuing that narrative, because it is a place that people don't like to go. On our end, we don't really talk about it as much, like our experiences. And then people just don't know because we're not talking about it. So we kind of wear this S on our chest, and we're perceived as being invincible creatures when you are a doctor or a physician. And this situation has exposed the vulnerability of us and how human we are. And then I finally just wanted to really highlight where I am specifically, like those physicians who are practice owners in private practice, who on top of the pressure of being a physician and healing, but also having to keep the doors open for a business that may not be involved with the politics of like a hospital group or a medical group. But there's still a lot of pressure going on from a business owner perspective, and how to continue to serve your community when the community cannot come to be served. And just wanted to really express gratitude for those who are pushing and fighting to continue to live out their passion in the face of, you know, the stress and the concern of, you know, will I be able to make my bottom line, you know, this quarter? Will I be able to continue to assist my employees and pay, you know, like those kind of decisions. So thank you to everyone across the board.
Thanks, Dr. K. Anyone else? Manny, you're up.
Yeah, man. So first of all, thanks, Mai, for putting this together. You always come through with the emotional support that we as a physician body need, and I'm grateful for that. Thanks to everyone who showed up to be on this panel at this event. That energy, I'm sure that everyone who's watching us from the receiving side is feeling the energy, feeling the empowerment. And I want my colleagues to know, you know, I spend a lot of time on social media just watching y'all. That's what psychiatrists do. So, you know, I'm sending love to y'all. I'm sending strength to y'all. I'm sending prayers to y'all. And we got you. We got you. Just keep doing what you're doing. We got you.
Thanks, Manny. Antonio, my darling, you're up. I'm gonna mute you.
Right,
there you go.
now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, this is a really enlightening and revealing call. So I want to just really take a moment to really say to you how much I appreciate you putting this together for obvious reasons, but it really resonated with me, not because I'm in the medical community at all. It got me thinking about something that I experienced. You know, I homeschooled my kids when they were younger, and it was probably one of the most challenging things I'd ever done in my entire life. And it gave me a completely different appreciation for teachers and how underappreciated teachers are. And I think this call was truly revealing to me about how I think just as a society, we take the medical community for granted. We don't think about the fact that when something like this happens, who are the people who actually go to help others? Who are they? They're not just some, you know, pretend imaginary people. These are real people who are putting their lives in right. I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you who are out there on the front lines, who are taking the chance, the risk every single day to give yourself selflessly to others, people you don't know, people who need you. So for me, it's really this has really resonated with me on a way that I really had no idea. I just really wanted to be here to support, just to be around, but it completely changed my perspective. So thank you for putting this together. Thank you for those of you who are also participating, and thank you for the greater medical community for what you do.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Aisha,
Yes.
all right. I think we would be extremely remiss not to take the opportunity to, of course, thank our patients, right? And so we definitely know that the persons on the front line, our emergency room doctors and our nurses, and like we said, receptionists, to techs, to janitors, to, persons, ambulatory centers, private practice doctors, myself, that we're here and we're, there for them. We're on the front lines. But I want you to know, at least for my practice, even as I've reached out and did telemedicine and televideos and things, patients are telling me, Doc, stay safe. We appreciate you. We're praying for you. We want you to know that we need you. You stay safe, right? I even had posted in the group, like Doctor's Day, of course, we're working any day, whatever, and a patient at the end of the call and say, hey, you know what? Happy Doctor's Day. So I think definitely taking a moment just to appreciate the patients that we see, the communities that we see, that, like the gentleman said, some already realized that they appreciated us and needed us. But I was telling someone the other day, I think America's having a reawakening of appreciation for teachers and for physicians, as well as our nurses. So I just want to take this opportunity to say that obviously we wouldn't have the ministry and the ability to take care of persons if we didn't have the patients that came in and trust in our expertise. So a huge thank you to them that continue to believe in us and trust in us and support us and are trying to make sure that, we're okay. They're staying home. They're taking the advice and taking it seriously. So I just want to say, my shirt says love. And I just want to say we love you. We love our patients. We love our communities, and that's why we do this. So thank you to all of you that are on the call as well.
Thanks, Kim. Clavette, I know that you wanted to say something. You're up.
Thank you very much. Can I be heard?
You can be heard. You are heard.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. I am so overwhelmingly touched by this call that you generated, Maisha. You are such an angel. And was the young lady, her name Megan?
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Dr. Megan.
Yeah, I also want to acknowledge her for writing that letter. I'm a third-degree burn survivor, so though I'm not a physician, my life was saved by physicians and doctors. And so I can't even imagine what they're going through right now in this time where a lot of them can't even protect themselves as they're protecting the world. So I just want to say thank you for your courage, thank you for your heart, thank you for your brilliance, for your generosity and your benevolence. And you're not alone, and people care. I am a healer, and every week my healing colleagues, we get together and for an hour we meditate and send you good vibes. So just know there's a lot of good energy being sent out to you, and just this whole situation as a whole.
Thank you, Chloe. Anyone else? And if you can't figure out how to raise your hand at this point, you're welcome to just go ahead and unmute yourself.
I just wanted to ask a little bit, maybe you can talk a little bit about, I heard one of the doctors talk about telemedicine, and it's so wonderful that some of the doctors are doing this and still trying to take care of their patients using other methods and modalities. But there are probably a lot of people out there, since this is being streamed on Facebook, they may not know about that. So I wondered if you guys just briefly could talk a little bit about that and how you're helping your patients in that way.
Yeah. So Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
Well, thank you so much for the question, because it's so pertinent right now. And so essentially, telemedicine is the opportunity where you can connect with your physician without having to be, in the office. And we have now been blessed to have the fact that you don't have to be in the state or have that state license. With all the things going on with the coronavirus pandemic, there's been some legislation that loosened those guidelines. And so for doctors like myself, persons can contact you either through your website, through a portal. They also can, call your office and get set up, and they'll send you a link. A lot of it is Zoom, Docs, I think DocsMe, that different platforms are being used. And so we're super excited about that. The downside has been a large part of our population, particularly if you have seniors, sometimes may not have access to the electronic platforms that you need to make this happen. So they are having some opportunity just to do the telephone call. So that's been helpful. The other downside has been the reimbursement is nowhere near what you get when you're in the office. So when you're trying to make it happen for, say, a private practice or for any practice, whether specialty or, family medicine, pediatrics, having that decrease in volume and that decrease in the reimbursement for those services has kind of been a double whammy, but still we're trying to do it. So we've spent 30 minutes, an hour sometimes trying to get people set up to get these connections and help them to understand you got to click the box, click the one that says open. Yeah, click that. It's good, and then you connect with them. And then you say, you know what? That's okay. I can see you. Just call me on the phone. We'll do the talking part on the phone. I can see you now. You're good. And so I get to see people gardening and walking around with their pets, and their kids are trying to show me their boo-boos. And then they're saying, look at my little sister. And then guess what? I get to treat the whole family. So I said, okay, you know what? That's fine. Just get a phone to them. Okay, all right. Let me get you. Let's get it all down. So understand we're excited and happy to have this opportunity to let social media and electronics and technology join. But it's definitely not as seamless as we like, but we're glad that it's there. And for most people, with and without insurance, because there are places that do, DPC, which is direct patient care, patients that do, a pay scale. So it's a lot of different ways that it can happen. It's just that everybody's still in a flux as far as, that access is more people on the internet. But PWT, this is amazing. We actually are opening up our own telemedicine portal on our website, and it's going to be a service for our members that have private practices that are supporters of PWT. Literally working on this today, where we'll be getting it out to our membership, and we have approximately 20,000 emails, and just going to get it out and say, hey, you're looking for a doc that offers telemedicine. Pick any one of this link. They're one of the members. Are here for you, and you can connect with them directly, and they can get you care when you need it. So we're super excited about this opportunity. So folks that are interested, they can go to www.thepwt.org. I'm sorry, Maisha, I guess I should ask your permission for that first.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good, girl.
Okay. They can go to the site, and it'll have a startup of those practices that are out there, and some other members have their own sites. But the first thing I always say is talk with your own primary care. There's enough patients for everyone, so it's definitely not trying to, grab anybody. Talk with your own doctor, see if they offer that service, and understand there are some guidelines and things in place that if you don't have the option to do video, that they are sometimes allowing even just a telephone visit. So I'm glad you asked that question. So folks that are interested in it, don't be afraid, because when we use the word telemedicine and health and portal, people start thinking Star Wars, Star Trek. What do you mean? How does that work? And they freak out. You know what? It's okay. I just need to see you and hear you. They're like, okay, we can do that. And so they work with you. Usually your co-pays and things are still due. You may still have your deductible, that kind of thing. And it's just, a process. We're trying to still keep people safe, right? Stay home, keep your distance. If you have to do a pharmacy, go through the drive-through. This is not the time to be hanging out barbecuing, trying to hang in, long lines. So
hanging at the gas
get
stations.
Get you out. Exactly.
Please.
Get you in, get you out via telemedicine, and still help you get the things that you need. So yeah, great question.
Thanks, Doc. And
yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys, I encourage you to really continue that, work through that. It's the wave of the future, like shopping online, Amazon, all of that. Telemedicine, wave of the future now.
Thank you, Mom. So, we're coming up on the top of the hour. And before I close it out, I want to give one last call, y'all, for gratitudes. At this point, if you're still on and you want to express any more gratitudes, unmute yourself and go forth and express. Yes.
I would like to add something.
Yes.
If I could.
Come on, Dr. K.
Yeah, I just wanted to express gratitude to the families of the frontliners. So I know when I think of like my family, my husband, my daughter, and the sacrifices of, you know, knowing what I'm doing and being okay with it and supporting it and knowing that, you know, mommy's not just here for us, but for other people as well, and understanding that.
That's
and
right.
I know
That's
that
right.
all of the families around the world who have to have their wife, their daughter, their, you know, sibling, you know, their mother or father have to go out into the trenches to deal with this, or even if they're working from home, have to be respectful of that. That, you know, everyone is not just kind of, you know, on this pause. It was like hit the pause button on life, but being very supportive of that and respectful and understanding, and the sacrifices that are made by the families, especially even close friends, that things are different now and they are okay with that. I wanted to express gratitude to the support team of the frontliners.
Yeah. Thanks, Dot. There's one more. Yeah, there's one more group of. Kim, did you want to say something before I?
No. I just said I did all that. I mean, totally.
Yes.
Dr. K's on it. Dr. K, I'm Dr. J, we own it. You're right. Totally. Couldn't do it without a family. Things are different.
What is that movie with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones? It just made me think about, oh gosh. I can't remember, but Dr. K and Dr. J. Somebody in a minute is going to remember and say it out loud. It just brought it right back. Anyway, I just want to add one more gratitude, and that's to the docs who are non-clinical, who are the physicians who are coaches, the physicians who are administrators, the physicians who are doing, you know, sort of we're on the sidelines, on the periphery, and we're doing what we can to contribute. And I just, you know, as a person who has struggled to find where my voice brings value, I know that a lot of the non-clinical docs, a lot of the physician coaches, especially those physician coaches who have been providing like pop-up coaching sessions. There are a lot of physician coaches that are like providing that emotional support, these pop-up group sessions for forums for you know, physicians to come and express and have that healing happen inside the group. I want to thank you all, and for all of the other physicians who have stepped up and created other advocacy groups, because there are some forming out there. National Physicians United. I mean, there's like there are a lot of groups out there that are being formed to really begin to advocate for us as well. So I just want to thank across the board you all as well, and know that your voice is counted as well. So if there's nothing else, I would love to end with a poem that was actually sent to me by one of my physician clients, and it is called "What If." And it was also written by a physician as well. So there's so much fear, and perhaps rightfully so, about COVID-19. And what if we subscribe to the philosophy that life is always working out for us, that there is an intelligence far greater than humans at work, that all is interconnected? What if the virus is here to help us, to reset, to remember what is truly important, reconnecting with family and community, reducing travel so that the environment, the skies, the air, our lungs all get a break. Parts of China are seeing blue sky and clouds for the first time in forever with the factories being shut down. Working from home rather than commuting to work, less pollution, more personal time. Reconnecting with family as there is more time at home. An invitation to turn inwards, a deep meditation rather than the usual extroverted going out to self-soothe. To reconnect with self, what is really important to me? What is really important to me? A reset economically, the working poor, the lack of healthcare access for over 30 million in the US, the need for paid sick leave, how hard does one need to work to be able to live, to have life outside of work? To face our mortality, check back into life, check back into living life rather than simply working, working, working. To reconnect with our elders who are so susceptible to this virus and washing our hands. How did that become a new thing that we just needed to remember? But yes, we did. To presence of grace for all. There is a shift underway in our society. What if it is one that is favorable for us? What if this virus is an ally in our evolution, in our remembrance of what it means to be connected, humane, living a simpler life, to be less impactful, more kind to our environment? And offering from my heart this morning, offered as another perspective, another way of relating to this virus, this unfolding, this evolution. It was a time for change. We all knew that, and change has arrived. What if? So, you know, through all of this, there is the old saying, this too shall pass. And, you know, I just want to thank all of you all for being on here with me. Those of you who were able to be direct on the Zoom, and for those of you on Facebook who are tuning in, who are watching, who are sharing. Again, I want to extend my love and my gratitude to all of the healthcare workers out there on the front lines, all of the physicians, all specialties, all of the people who are essential businesses who are on the front lines. And just, you know, stay well, stay home when you can, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and be well. Right, y'all. Namaste.